Stonor Challenge Cup women's double sculls. Ferris and Nyland on the Berkshire station, Morrison and Sharp on the Buckinghamshire station. Contrast, no coxers and eights. It's so much more quiet and intimate with these small boats, isn't it, at the start?
Yes, definitely. It's a lot more. It's a lot more in your heads as well, isn't it? Just the two of you having to sort of work with each other really closely. This is more of a psychological game, in a sense that you know, you obviously want to row technically well together, have good power and put it down, but also really be well gelled as two individuals. And as you can see already, you've just got that crew from Worcester and Warrington, Ferris and Nyland, just sort of sneaking out the early lead here, which could be quite critical in this sort of boat class where. You know, it can be very psychological, and depending on how well you can sort of hang in there. Now, you can just see sort of a close-up there on Wallingford there for Morrison Sharp, just falling behind there, and I think that lead looks like it's just opened out a little, doesn't it? It
does, yeah. The Ferris and Nyland from Worcester and Warrington were actually part of the under-23 team this summer, but because of some of the COVID, some of the athletes couldn't go because of contact tracing and stuff like that, so they never got to race. So they're here to get a bit of experience, and I think they're going to the European Under-23 Championships later in the summer. So they're a really top-end crew.
Yeah, it sounded devastating that they weren't able to go to the Under-23s, potentially due to sort of contact tracing and those sort of reasons. But it's, yeah, that would be heartbreaking to be selected but then not go. But at least there's another opportunity to race internationally, because they look like a great crew here, and they're sculling very well. You know, they've got out of the blocks, they're clean, and they've sort of been able to sort of exert their dominance over that Wallingford Rowing Club crew, and now, yes, they're just sort of sculling away and very neatly while they're doing it.
And it's a great entry in this event. One you've got, you saw earlier the two Olympians, Katie Greaves and Jess Eddy, but also we have our British lightweight Olympic double that just came back from the Olympics, who just came fourth, and they're racing in this event, so it's a pretty stacked event.
It is, yeah. I mean, that's the British lightweight double. We'd love to see them race again. You know, that was agonising fourth place. Still amazing achievement to be that good, but it'd be lovely to see them yeah. Could they pick up a win here? That'd be lovely for them to finish off the season. Yeah,
if things go well, they'll end up racing Reeves and Eddy in the semi-final. And here, Wallingford Rowing Club, which is the same club that Katie Greaves was representing. A more inexperienced crew. They were raced at Henley Women's Regatta. They were in the semi-final in the junior women's doubles. So again, a much younger crew. These are still girls at school competing against university students who are at the top end of the international.
Yeah, those age groups, just as you transition from finishing up at school to sort of transitioning to an under-23 and then to senior, you can have some sort of big jumps in both strength, in skill, and you know that's sort of showing here a little bit, isn't it? It's just as you sort of shift through there's quite a steep learning curve, and I think this, you know, essentially the Warrington and Worcester crew, you know, being a sort of potentially GB crew here, are just that little bit more advanced and able to contain the Wallingford crew here, and they've done very well here. You can see a little wobble there, but that's always going to happen in a double scull. But they've sort of positioned themselves nicely on the course there. Nice view of the opponents on their left.
That little wobble there coincided with the gap in the booms. So you see the booms all the way down the courses, but intermittently, you see on the left-hand side now, there's a gap in the booms for boats to cross over. And that means a wash comes across those points and can disrupt the cruise if you're not aware of it.
That was very eagle eye of you, Adrian. I hadn't noticed that, but yeah, just as we saw that shot panned round past the launch, and you could, yeah, the little gap, it's just enough, isn't it, to let through the odd little rogue wave, which then does knock the boat a little bit like that. But you know, it didn't faze them for long. They were able to sort of get back to some very smooth rowing here.
So, and what's the difference then when you're in a small boat like this and you're a couple of lengths up, and you're in an 8 and you're a couple of lengths up, in terms of managing your energy? How is it different in a coxswain's boat like this?
Yeah, I think with a double like this, the communication can be a lot more back and forth between the stroke and the bow. So sort of Cameron Nyland in the stroke will be listening to her bow and sort of listening to what they're discussing in terms of their race strategy and how how much effort they'll both put in together, because you want to really match the effort. Whereas in the 8, I guess the cox will kind of really dictate everything, really, and to some extent, you know, they'll sort of take control of the situation and tell all 8 rowers what to do.
So it's looking here that Freya Sharp in the stroke seat of this Wallingford Junior crew. She's going to Brooks next year, so she's going to a good place for her rowing. here as we come down. Enclosures, Ferris and Nyland making easy work of this race. You can really see the contrast in the number of strokes they're taking. Very quiet, patient in what they're doing.
Yeah, so a close-up shot there of Ferris and Nyland. Nyland, Cameron Nyland in the sort of stroke seat. So she's obviously, well, she's coming from sort of Warrington, heavily involved in the rowing program up there. She's a coach on the Warrington Youth Rowing Program, which is great to see. So not only is she pursuing her own rowing, she's also helping others to pick up the sport and introducing it to new people too.
As we cross the line here, Ferris and Nyland of Worcester and Warrington Rowing Club beat Morrison and Sharp, both from Wallingford Rowing Club, by a couple of lengths clear water.